Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining my session of the Sales Development Summit. My name is Zach Barney, and I am the head of Inside Sales for the Eastern United States at a company called Nearmap. We are a company based in Sydney, Australia, publicly traded down there on the Australian Stock Exchange, and I work out of our U.S. headquarters in Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been in software sales for roughly 10 years, ranging in roles from SDR to sales director and everything in between. You can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is down there at the bottom, and also I invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn. Today we are going to be talking about how to build a strong sales org, and the title of this session is In Sales, the Tortoise Doesn't Beat the Hare. So I'm going to start off with the story that we've all heard 6 million times. It's called the story of the tortoise and the hare. And essentially, for whatever reason, this cocky rabbit challenges a slow-moving tortoise to a foot race. Even stranger is the fact that the tortoise accepts the challenge and they head to the starting line. The gun fires, the hare takes off, leaving Mr. Slowpoke Tortoise in the dust. Now, somewhere along the way, the hare gets either tired or lazy, maybe he gets cocky, I don't know. But he decides to take a nap for whatever reason, rather than finishing the race, since the tortoise is far behind him. But as he is sleeping, Mr. Tortoise keeps plugging along at his leisurely pace until he stumbles across the sleeping hare, passes him, and takes the lead. By the time the hare wakes up, the tortoise is nearly at the finish line. The hare jumps up and sprints forward, only to barely be beaten out by the tortoise that never gave up. It's a wonderful, heartwarming story, right? Teaches us a life lesson that we should never give up, and that slow and steady wins the race. So here's the problem. This statement is absolutely false. Slow and steady never wins the race. You will never be competing against a supremely talented but uber lazy and stupid singular competitor in anything that you do. The winners of foot races, whether they be 100-meter dashes or marathons, are not slow, nor do they coast in their training because of their God-given talent. The most successful entrepreneurs like Mark Cuban here are both smart and dedicated. Cuban is absolutely legendary for his hustle. The pro video gamers that make enough money to afford all of the Mountain Dew and Doritos in the world, they are definitely smart, they're definitely quick thinking and strategic. But they also spend roughly 20 hours a day playing video games, stopping only to sleep. And then we have the best baseball players in the world, such as the legendary Ted Williams. He possessed not only great coordination, but also an unmatched work ethic. So here's the reality. You need both talent and effort to win in whatever you are competing in. Let's do one last analogy here using my favorite sport, basketball. I've built a little success quadrant here showing the 4 types of basketball players. Now the bottom left shows us people that are slow, aka less talented, and not steady, also known as lazy. They don't exist in the NBA. You will never make the NBA if you don't have talent nor work ethic. Now, we do have plenty of people that make it in the league that are a little bit less talented, but are very, very hardworking. Here are a couple of examples. You've got Mark Madsen. While he played in the NBA for a number of years, he's probably most famous for his dance moves, or lack thereof, during Lakers championship parades during their three-peat in the early 2000s. You've got J.J. Barea, wonderful role player, exceptional glue guy, known for his work ethic. He's undersized, he's a little bit slow, a little bit of a liability on defense, but he does help his team due to his hard work. And then you have my personal favorite, Mr. White Mamba himself, Brian Scalabrine. Played in the late 2000s for the Celtics and the Bulls. Great glue guy. Everybody loves him, but he sat on the end of the bench. You are not winning an NBA championship with White Mamba leading your team. We also have plenty of players that are exceptionally talented but wash out for whatever reason, typically laziness, lack of work ethic, other personal problems outside of basketball. Those players include Eddie Curry, who just could not keep his conditioning at a level that was conducive to his success in the NBA. You got Antoine Walker, whose lack of conditioning as well as his gambling habits kicked him out of the NBA prematurely. And then you've got Dwight Howard, still plugging away. If you didn't know how talented he was, you would question why I have him here in the bottom right. But the reality is Dwight Howard is arguably the most physically gifted NBA player of the last 30 years. Almost 7 feet tall, but he's also coordinated, two-time NBA dunk champion, #1 overall pick out of high school. This guy should be an all-star every single year. He should have multiple NBA championships. He should have multiple MVPs. Instead, he's an 8-time all-star rather than 14. No championships, no MVPs, and is widely viewed as a coach killer and a chemistry killer on his team. Now, where you want to be and where you want your team to be is up here in the top right. You want players that are incredibly talented but also have legendary work ethics. If you play your cards right, you get them. They don't rest on defense. They don't gain 30 pounds over the summer despite having every opportunity to coast based on talent alone. They outwork every other player on the team, and even when it's not a contract year, they are in the gym first, in the gym last. As a reward, they bring titles to their adoring fan bases. They are the Kobe Bryants. They are the LeBron Jameses. They are the Michael Jordans of the NBA. Now, if you could have your way, why wouldn't you want a team full of LeBron Jameses? Would you ever pick a Scalabrine over a Kobe? Of course you're saying no, I would never do that. Well, in the sales industry, people do that all the time when building out their teams. And here's the great thing about sales. It's very much an individual sport. You can have a team of 10 Peyton Mannings or 10 Magic Johnsons. You don't need the end of the bench glue guys. You don't need the spot up 3-point shooters or the pinch runners. You need all-stars, and nothing but all-stars. But we rationalize our way into hiring in subprime quadrants all the time. We either hire a bunch of high school dropouts that show up 30 minutes late and stoned because we can't get anyone else to apply, or because we undervalue the position and think a monkey can do it. Or maybe we put way too much stock into somebody's work ethic, when some people just flat out don't have the personality for a sales role. They'll smile and dial all day long, but they will never be #1 on your leaderboard when it comes to what actually matters, which is results. Oppositely, we also put way too much stock into talent and not enough into habits. We place blame for poor performance on their previous employers or some other circumstances because we've heard them on the phone and man, are they good. Don't do that. Find the gems. Find the people where every connection they have at your company is begging you to hire them. They use words like A player and rock star when describing these people. Find the people that cause you to lose sleep over the thought of not getting them on your team. The people that give you the same rush as a $100,000 deal closing when they sign. Get those people. These are the LeBron Jameses, the Michael Jordans, and the Kobe Bryants of the sales world. Again, slow and steady never wins the race. All right, now let's look at how we can build a team of LeBron Jameses on our sales orgs. Here are 4 key tips. #1, recruit. Don't just post on LinkedIn and hope that the ultimate A player falls into your lap. Top performers have jobs. They're not looking. They're making too much money to be looking for a new job. #2, when you finally get to engage with those top dogs, make sure that you are getting into the weeds on actual deals the candidate claims to have closed. Talk about the names of those companies. Talk about the deal size. How long was the sales cycle? Who were the key decision makers and the key champions involved? And what objections did they have that the salesperson had to help overcome? #3, also ask about the macro numbers. Ask about quota attainment, both in dollars and in percentage of quota. Ask about historical performance. Was this a one-time thing, or have you hit your quota for 3, 4 quarters in a row? Also, I would say this is probably most important, backdoor references. Talk to people that you know that also know that person. Mutual connections are great for giving candid feedback regarding somebody. Ask questions such as, were they in the top 10% of salespeople you have ever worked with? Ask about their weaknesses. Do several of these backdoor references, not just one. Those are the people that are going to give you the real candid feedback that you need to determine if this person is full of it or if they are really that golden goose that you need. Now, I'd also like to add that when all is said and done, you will need to pay more for a LeBron James than you will an Eddie Curry. Do you think that the Cavs are thinking, man, but we could get 5 guys that wave the towels and give killer high fives when we score for the same money that we're paying for one LeBron James? Should we really fight to keep him next year? Of course not. Okay, so in summary, fast and steady wins the race. You need talent and effort, both. If you find yourself rationalizing on a potential hire, they are likely missing either talent or work ethic. Don't rationalize. Don't settle. Recruit, vet thoroughly, and treat top performers well. So that's it for my session. Thank you. Again, follow me on Twitter, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to chat. Hope you enjoyed it, and happy selling.